So we are going to start out doing how many groups, which remember when it's how many groups your units match. And so when they cancel, you end up getting groups. And this is a measurement model, okay? So this would be like I have 1 3/4 cups of sugar. Every recipe calls for 2/3 of a cup of sugar. How many batches can I make? Something like this. So this is the sugar that I have. This is what I need like per batch. And so I kind of want to figure out how many batches I can make. So in this one, step number 1 is you draw the first picture. Okay, so I'm going to draw my 1 3/4. And again, we did not do a mixed number in class. And the danger with this is that you have to remember that one rectangle is our whole. So because you can't, you can't forget that like and think both of these make your whole, just one of these is your whole. So we got to kind of watch that. So I have 1 3/4 and I'm going to cut this so I can see my 7/4, but I'm not really cutting it like this direction. I'm just showing that this has 4/4 in it. So first picture, I went ahead and drew. All right, so now let's look at the math. I have, what is that? 7/4 cups divided by 2/3 cups. Okay, so the second step is to get a common denominator. So get my common denominator and then cut the picture so that I can see the common denominator. All right, so my common denominator is 12. So I'm going to multiply this guy by 3 and 3. So I get 21/12 cups divided by times 4 times 4, 8/12 cup. And again, now we have truly a common unit. And I always like to cut the things the other direction. If I want 3 things, it takes 2 cuts to make 3 segments. So if you see, if I cut it, do you see how each thing turns into thirds there? All right, and then 1, 2 cuts. Now, if you cannot see your original, number here, we're in trouble. All right, so we should be able to see 21/12. If we can't, we screwed up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I should be able to see this, okay? All right, so step number 3 is we're going to kind of get a new unit and answer. We're going to answer the question. So notice that if I have, say, like 21 cookies divided by 8 cookies, my units cancel and I get, so many groups out of it. So here it's like we have 21 1/12 cups of sugar divided by 8 1/12 cups of sugar. And so the fact that these are 12ths don't really matter. They're the same unit. So it's kind of like scoops. So again, you can kind of cancel the 12 cups, 1/12 cup, 1/12 cup. And my new unit is 8. This is my new unit because it's kind of like 1 scoop, 2 scoops, 3 scoops, 8, 8 scoops makes a batch. Then I need another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scoops make a batch. It doesn't really matter that the scoop I'm using is 1/12 of a cup. Okay, because I could say 1 12, 2 12s, 3 12, but that takes time. I'm just saying 8 scoops make it. Okay, and it just happens that the scoop that I'm using is 1/12 of a cup. All right, so it takes 8 scoops to make, a batch. And this is, again, this is what I have, right? This is what I have. This is what I need. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle 8 of them. So let's see. This would be 1 batch because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scoops would make a batch. Now, they all happen to be 1/12 of a cup, 1/12 of a cup, 1/12 of a cup, but who cares? All right, then I need another 8 to make another batch. So I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to take these 4 and those 4. Okay, this is another batch, right? So I have 2 batches so far. And then the rest is, and again, we're not looking at those open spaces. We're counting. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But how many does it take? It takes 8 to make a batch. Now, it's an accidental thing there. If that happens to be 8, that doesn't usually happen. All right, so I get 2 5/8 batches because I have 21 8s, right? Which 8 goes in there. I get twice 2 5/8. And my unit, it switched to 8s. It takes 8. And sometimes there's more junk out here. It just accidentally happened that there was actually 8. That doesn't, well, is there? Yeah, there's 8. That usually doesn't happen. There might be 12 or 14. It's just the fact that I'm counting in sets of 8. Has nothing to do with those 3 right there. All right, so I get 2 and 5/8. So I could actually make 2 full batches because I have enough sugar to make 2, and I can make 5/8 of another batch. All right, so let's do the other way around. So I have 1 3/4 and divided by 2/3 of a group. Okay, I'm not quite sure where that cut off at, but that's okay. So if it kind of glitched there, I had to pause and kind of redo that. Okay, so this is, let's see, how many in one group? Okay, and this is partitive, which is more of a rate type situation going on here. All right, so in this one, I'm going to draw my second picture. So I have 2/3. And so to give this a scenario, it would be that 1 3/4 gallons of paint cover 2/3 of a wall. And then the question would be, how many gallons of paint would it take to cover the whole wall? So basically this 1 3/4 gallons of paint is enough to cover 2/3 of a group, but not a whole group. So again, draw the second picture because that's your wall. We're focusing on trying to build this up to one wall. All right, and I like to put the paint off to the side. So I have 1 3/4 gallon. Okay, so step number 2 is figure out the paint per strip. So I have the paint, I have 1 3/4 gallon divided by, I have 2 strips because that paint spread over 2 strips. This is what, 4, 5, 6, 7 fourths. Either multiply by the reciprocal or know that dividing by 2 is the same as taking half of it, and you get 7/8. And so that means all of these are 7/8. If you want to check your answer, 7/8 and 7/8 is 14/8, right? And 14/8 is the same as 7/4, which is 1 3/4. So you can check to make sure it does add up to the 1 3/4, which it does. And then step number 2 is total up all the strips. And so I have 3 strips and each of them takes 7/8 gallon. Again, put a 1 under there, I get 21/8 gallons. 8 goes in there twice, which would be what, 16, and there would be 5/8 left. And this would be gallons to paint the whole wall. Right there, okay? And again, notice we get the same answer, totally different method than getting the common denominator and the common unit. Okay, so totally different type of division. And again, if you want to check with the standard algorithm, you have 1 3/4 divided by 2/3. Make it improper, so 4, 5, 6, 7 fourths multiplied by the reciprocal. You get 21/8. 8 goes in there again twice, 16, and then you have 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, like 5 little pieces left out of 8 that it takes to make a whole. All right, those are the 2 types of division. All right, what I want you to try is 7/8 divided by 2/3. And again, do both methods. So do how many in a group and how many groups. So how many groups is where they have a common denominator and a common unit. And then how many in one group is kind of like the paint on the wall or more the partitive method. So, all right, good luck.